Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances of Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our evening Bhagavad Gita circle program. We are in the middle of chapter 7, verse 23, and the chapter is entitled The Knowledge of the Absolute Truth, and it will be read to us and explained by Mother Gita from ISKCON Atlanta. Hare Krishna, Mother, so nice to have you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
And it's all yours, Mother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paschata Destarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jadvaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Continuing with Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, text number 23. Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedhasam devan deva yacho yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Purport. Some commentators on the Bhagavad Gita say that one who worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord. But here it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated, just as a worshipper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshipper of the demigod of the moon achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular god's planet. It is not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is denied here, for it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to different planets in the material world, but the devotee of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the supreme planet of the personality of Godhead. Excuse me. Here the point may be raised that if the demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same end should be achieved by worshipping them. However, worshippers of the demigods are less intelligent because they don't know to what part of the body food must be supplied. Some of them are so foolish that they claim that there are many parts and many ways to supply food. This isn't very sanguine. Can anyone supply food to the body through the ears or eyes? They do not know that these demigods are different parts of the universal body of the Supreme Lord. And in their ignorance, they believe that each and every demigod is a separate God and a competitor of the Supreme Lord. Not only are the demigods parts of the Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Lord, the Kshatriyas are his arms, the Vaishyas are his waist, the Shudras are his legs, and all serve different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and he himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods reside. This is not the same destination the devotee reaches. The results achieved by the demigods' benedictions are perishable because within this material world, the planets, the demigods, and their worshippers are all perishable. Therefore, it is clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by worshipping demigods are perishable, and therefore such worship is performed by the less intelligent living entity. Because the pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service of the Supreme Lord achieves eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge, his achievements and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon his pure devotees is unlimited. Text 24. Avyaktam vyaktim apannam manyante mam abuddhayaha param bhavam ajananto mamavyayam anuttamam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Purport. Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still, due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Yamunacharya, a great devotee of the Lord in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, Tvam Shila Rupa Charitehe Parama Prakshtahe Satvena Satvikatya Prabhaischa Shastre Prakhyatadaiva Paramartha Vidamataischa Naivasura Prakritayaha Prabhavanti Bodham. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narada know you to be the personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities, and one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non-devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However, expert such non-devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and the Upanishads and other Vedic literatures. It is not possible for them to understand the personality of Godhead. Stotra Ratna 12. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by study of the Vedanta literature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can the personality of the Supreme be known. Therefore, in this verse, it is clearly stated that not only are the worshippers of the demigods less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literature without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is impersonal are described as abuddhayaha, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized super soul, but the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. Modern impersonalists are still less intelligent, for they do not even know their great predecessor, Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think Krishna to be only the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or a prince, or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 11. Avajananti mamudha manusim tanu ashritam. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 14, verse 29 confirms this. Athapi te deva padma bhujadvaya prasada leshan nugrhita evahi janati tatvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya eko api chiram vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the supreme personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. One cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his form, quality, or name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then only can one understand the supreme personality of Godhead. Non-devotee impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made of this material nature and that all his activities, his form, and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. The 20th verse clearly states, Kamas taister ritapyanaha prapadyante anya devataha. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender unto the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets, and the Lord also has a planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Deva Yajo Yanti Mad Bhakta Yanti Mam Api. The worshippers of the demigods go to the different planets of the demigods, and those who are devotees of Lord Krishna go to the Krishna Loka planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and their abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and the demigods have theirs. Therefore, the monastic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigods and the form of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, blissful knowledge. The Vedic literature confirms that the Supreme Absolute Truth is knowledge and blissful pleasure. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.9.28, and that he is a reservoir of unlimited auspicious qualities. Ananta Kalyana Gunatmako Asau. Vishnu Puran 6.5.84. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is aja or unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. Text 25. Naham prakashah sarvasya yoga maya samavritah mudhoyam nabhijanati loko mamajam avyayam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Purport. It may be argued that since Krishna was visible to everyone when he was present on this earth, then how can it be said that he is not manifest to everyone? But actually, he was not manifest to everyone. When Krishna was present, there were only a few people who could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the assembly of Kurus, when Shishupal spoke against Krishna as being elected president of the assembly, Bhishma supported him and proclaimed him to be the Supreme God. Similarly, the Pandavas and a few others knew that he was the Supreme, but not everyone. He was not revealed to the non-devotees and the common man. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, but for his pure devotees, all men consider him to be like themselves. He was manifest only to his devotees as the reservoir of all pleasure. But to others, to unintelligent non-devotees, he was covered by his internal potency. In the prayers of Kunti in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 19, it is said that the Lord is covered by the curtain of Yoga Maya, and thus ordinary people cannot understand him. This Yoga Maya curtain is also confirmed in the Ishopanishad Mantra 15, in which the devotee prays, Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasya Ihitam Mukham Tattvam Pushan Apavanu Satyadharmaya Drishtayo. O my Lord, you are the maintainer of the entire universe, and devotional service to you is the highest religious principle. Therefore, I pray that you will also maintain me Your transcendental form is covered by Yogamaya. The Brahma Jyoti is the covering of the internal potency. May you kindly remove this glowing effulgence that impedes my seeing your Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha, your eternal form of bliss and knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form of bliss and knowledge is covered by the internal potency of the Brahma Jyoti, and the less intelligent impersonalists cannot see the Supreme on this account. Also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, verse 7, there is this prayer by Brahma. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, O Master of all mystery, who can calculate your potency and pastimes in this world? You are always expanding your internal potency, and therefore no one can understand you. Learned scientists and learned scholars can examine the atomic constitution of the material world or even the planets, but still they are unable to calculate your energy and potency, although you are present before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is not only unborn, but also avyaya, inexhaustible. His eternal form is bliss and knowledge, and his energies are all inexhaustible. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother Gita, for reading these beautiful verses. This chapter is pretty powerful because it's really getting into the deeper aspects of Krishna consciousness and the deeper aspect of really beginning to learn the absolute truth of the Supreme Lord. So thank you for reading that. Would like to ask devotees if you have any questions, any clarification, any takeaways, please do unmute yourself, or you can just jump right in and ask a question. You can raise your hand and I can call upon you. Mother, I wanted to actually ask you, there was a verse that you read just now about, trying to paraphrase it, where Srila Prabhupada was saying is one cannot know the Lord just by Vedic literature, but by devotional service. And at the same time, we come across situations where I've been asked at least, okay, yes, chanting is also devotional service, but then I'm chanting a lot, but at the same time, yes, I'm not doing much devotional service and the Lord is not reciprocating, but if chanting is devotional service, then why should I have to do more, non-chanting devotional service? So how do you deal with that kind of a situation, Mother?
Yes, I've heard that before also. Are you able to hear me? Because there's some work going on, so there's that sound.
Yes, Mother, we can still hear you. Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
I remember hearing in one lecture that when we sit down to eat, prasadam, so how would we like if we just get rice to eat? No, we need some dal, we need sabji, we need roti, we need other things together, a balanced diet kind of. So similarly, just chanting is not sufficient. We can't be just chanting, and then that's why Prabhupada is given the whole process that you chant, you read, you hear, you eat prasadam, you follow rules, you associate with devotees, you do service. So all this together is the process. So just chanting will not, it is good, but it is not enough. So we got to do more. So here, and then also the mercy comes only with the pleasing of the spiritual master. So if the spiritual master is not pleased, then how is Krishna going to be pleased? And what pleases the spiritual master is very simple: chanting attentively and following the whole process, the whole package. It's called the package deal. Just like when we go on vacation, we take the package deal, which includes the flights to the hotel, the breakfast, etc., etc. So also devotional service also is complete package by itself. So we need to do everything. In fact, last Saturday, we were fortunate to have a Zoom meeting with our spiritual master, on Zoom. He was in India, and he gave a new instruction. So, and these instructions are for our benefit, right? So it's like, it's not just, chanting and doing everything, but then he said we need to keep a journal. We need to keep a record of how many rounds we chanted, how many of them were attentive chanting, and then how many hours did we read. So we have to make a report card and then send that report card to him once a month. So what is the reason for that instruction? It is for us to become pure devotees, right? That is for our benefit. He doesn't get any benefit out of that, but we get the benefit. Now we have to become more responsible. Now we have to present a report card, which means, of course, we cannot just fill in whatever we like, but we have to fill in what we did. Okay, 16 rounds is minimum. How many of them were attentive chanting? Put it down there. You see? So only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna that we will be able to reach our goal. Not just by chanting. You have to follow all the instructions. I hope that helps.
Yes, Mother, absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Mother. Thank you. Devotees, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Any clarification, any add-ons? Please don't hesitate and don't feel shy. You can, definitely, jump right in and ask. We have about 5 more minutes, before we end this program. Mother, as you were speaking, one question that the one thing that you mentioned that came to my mind was rules and instructions. And sometimes human nature, Kali Yuga, the mind is making us to become more of a control and independent. And somehow when we hear the word, oh, why are there rules? But I'm just trying to, become closer to God. Why should there be rules, And why should there be instructions? But it's supposed to, I'm just loving God. Does he not want me? So how do we handle or address such questions, Mother?
Yes, I have heard that before, and the answer that I heard was that just like I'm sick now, and I went to the doctor. So the doctor, prescribes the medication, but then he also gives some restrictions. Don't eat this or don't do that, So both are necessary. Medicine by itself is not going to be sufficient. We have to follow the other things also that need to be done. So similarly, we have to take everything into consideration. And the spiritual master knows, because he's a spiritual doctor. He knows, how much Maya is there within us, how much we are in Maya. So based on that, he gives a prescription, just like the doctor doesn't give same prescription to all patients. Similarly, the spiritual master does not give the same prescription for all the disciples. Yes, there are basics, that we follow, like 4 rules in chanting, etc. But then there are specific instructions for each particular disciple, so that they can get cured of Maya, so that there's no more Maya. So need to follow both.
Thank you, Mother. Yes, that was very, very helpful. Thank you for really making it so easy and very, simple to understand. Thank you. Devotees, any questions, any takeaways, any comments, any add-ons to this very, very nice reading? Somehow, as we're getting to the 7 chapters, getting really sweet. Yes, Parikshit, my husband.
Hare Krishna. Thanks. Humble obeisances. Glory to Srila Prabhupada. Every time that this part of the scriptures are read, where Krishna says, well, he was here and everybody could see him, but not everybody recognizes him. And sometimes when I think about, but Krishna, Prabhupada said, Krishna is for everyone. Krishna, you open your heart, you will enter. So why is it that some people can't even recognize him, can just comment on it just generally. So people who are also maybe having that same kind of confusion as to why a person is there and still a personality is there, can't be recognized, would benefit from it. Just your take on it. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So was that a comment or a question, Prabhu?
Oh, this I'm asking to you to well, you could put it in a question form to all, just a commentary on why some are not able to recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Why are they not
Yes.
able to?
Yes. I've heard this question so before, and I heard the answer also in one of the
Okay.
lectures. And the Prabhu was saying that the reason is because people don't want to, they don't want to. It's so all those who were present when Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, those who were dedicated to the Lord, those devotees, they were able to recognize him. But there were others like Duryodhana, even though he had a little bit of an idea that this may be God, but still he negated that. He said, no, because he himself thought he is, the topmost person, the greatest controller or whatever. So it is one's choice that they don't want to. I also heard one time the analogy of like, the rainwater is there to benefit all, but sometimes the rain falls on stones, and then that's of no use. And then when the rain falls on some fertile ground, and there is some benefit over there. So the rain is there for all. Similarly, when Krishna comes, he is there for everyone as the Supreme Lord. But there are some stone-hearted people who are not ready to even accept, even though, just like we see when we are preaching Krishna consciousness, we see not everyone is interested. Even though we explain to them, okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, clearly mentioned Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We give them references from scriptures, but still they are not ready to accept it. So it's their choice, they choose not to. They choose to be blind to that knowledge, like they choose. So that is what I have heard. I don't know if you would like to add something else to that.
No, all I would say is that's quite unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
Because in the material world, if you don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you go one lifetime, another. Ita dehantara prapti. Take another
Yes.
body, another life, until you get to accept Lord Vishnu.
And not only that, they are losing the golden opportunity based on their piety, past piety. They get the opportunity to hear about Krishna, and then they lose that golden opportunity. They say, no, this life, I just want to. I think this morning, I heard someone say, oh, this is just life is to enjoy, just one life. So let's enjoy it to the full. Who says there's just one life? This is all ignorance. So there are people who get the opportunity and still they just don't take advantage of it. It's pretty sad.
Many of the religions are still stuck in this one life idea.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and so many things to point to the fact that we were here before, and you could easily prove it, but still, they think it's just one life. Which is most unfortunate. I don't want to get started about this. But
That reminds me of the analogy sometimes Prabhupada gives is like an ostrich, puts the head inside the ground, yes, inside the ground. And or even a rabbit, a rabbit is there and sees a lion coming and closes his eyes and thinks that there is no lion, just because he can see, he thinks there's no lion. No, so that is the philosophy most people have in this world, So
thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
And interestingly, Mother, just to piggyback on Prakshit's question, my husband's question is when there is a situation where people think it's just this one life. And then I've come across situations where people look forward to many lives. That is, I think, I don't know, to me, it's like really sad. It's like, like you were saying, that we have the golden opportunity based on whatever piety we did our last life, right? To really take it up seriously. But I've heard comments, where people say, oh yeah, but I want to enjoy, I'll do it in the next life. That I think is really sad, Mother, because not knowing what our next life will be, and because we have this really immature, ignorant mentality, I think, but if I'm doing good this life, so next life probably I'll be doing good, I'll pick it up next life, but we don't know, right? That's really, really sad, Mother. And
let me tell you what's more sad.
Tell me, Mother, please.
This was in Mumbai. One day I was giving a lecture, and with newcomers, there sometimes you get one or two of a kind who have come just to eat prasad, which is also good, and they're not interested in philosophy, and they just want to maybe kind of sort of create a disturbance, by asking some questions or, comments. So then when afterwards during question answer session, I was talking about, the value of human form of life and the next life. And then this gentleman, he raised his hand. I said, yes. He says, I have a comment. So then there was a dialogue between him and me. And then, so finally I said, okay, so what do you want to be in your next life? And you will be shocked what he said. And we all were shocked, and there was complete silence for a few seconds. He said, I would like to be a bulldog in my next life. Oh, I was like, oh, Krishna, have you been hearing Bhagavad Gita or not? So it was like, can there be anything more sad?
What was his reason?
Hold on.
What was his reason?
Mother Gita is answering a question. There she is.
Yes. What did you ask? What did you say?
What was his reason?
Oh, his reason was that he likes bulldogs and he would like to be one in the next life.
Very interesting.
I know. So there are all these kinds of people,
Really? Now that is even more sad, Mother. You're right.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And more sad than that is, there's something more beyond this. I was thinking, I've been teaching Bhagavad Gita for so many months, and you still want to be a bulldog in your next life? Have you been listening or not?
And the funny thing, Mother, is that we don't have even the guarantee whether we'll be a bulldog or whether it'll be a German Shepherd or whether it'll be something. Like that's really sad.
Yes.
And yeah. And when we I'm remembering few of Prabhupada's transcription lectures, where he said that we have this valuable human form of life. Mm-hmm. And we have the knowledge of what it takes to not want to come back, but still we are not ready to surrender or to, give up our attachments and end it. But we are okay thinking, janme, I'll keep coming back.
Mm-hmm. See, there are all kinds of people in this world and they have different goals. I remember when I was working in a corporate office, and my colleague was about to get engaged or something. And then we were just, sitting and chit-chatting. And she said that I have told my boyfriend to give me a huge diamond ring, a huge stone, like a big one. And she said, I don't care if he can afford it or not. That's not my problem. So I asked her, why? Why did you want a big? She said, well, if after engagement we don't get married, I get to keep the diamond. And after marriage, if you get divorced, I get to keep the diamond and I'll get a lot of money out of it. So see the thought process of getting into a relationship. It's all about I, me, and mine, how I can enjoy. It's actually exploitation, how I can exploit someone else to satisfy myself and my desires. And not only that, she said, I asked him to get me a truck to ride. And I want to buy a truck. So I said, but you're so small, you are a petite. She said, no, sitting in a truck gives me the feeling of being above everyone else while driving. So there are people of that kind of consciousness. So it's a pity, really. Why does Krishna say out of thousands, only one will try for perfection? There will be these kind of 999 people.
And it's really sad when we hear such comments from people and we just, and we have this knowledge of devotional service, knowledge of how to get out of this repeated cycle of birth and death in our hands. And it's so hard to even give because they just like Prabhu Prabhu was asking, it's like they just don't want to be, they don't want to see Krishna, so they're gonna get blinded. It's really sad. Yeah, really sad. Thank you, Mother, for really sharing wonderful pastimes and and answering our questions and shedding light on all our comments. And thank you to all the devotees for joining us. I hope we all learned and really enjoyed this wonderful discussion and really food for thought, not enjoyment just to enjoy, but to really food for thought and to digest and grow in our Krishna consciousness. Yeah, it was a very soulful discussion. Absolutely, Mamina. Thank you so much. We thank the devotees for joining us. Vanchakapudibhyascha kripasindhubevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, Mother Gita, and we pray that you get well real soon.
Thank you, and I'm really sorry.
No, Mother, please don't apologize. I'm your servant. No, Mother, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna.